Okay, people. So this one came kind of out of nowhere, right? I'm talking about Suncoast. It's the new film from Laura Chinn. Now, she wrote, she directed it. Okay. It is produced by um, Kevin Chinoy, Jeremy Plaga, Oliver Oobst, and Francesca Silvestri. It's executive produced by Chris Stinson, uh, Anna Schwartz, and Amy Green, and associate produced by Jared Miller. Now, Est A. Haim and Christopher Stracy handle the music. Bruce Francis Cole was on cinematography, while Sarah Shaw edits the piece. Right. Valerie DeFels is on production design. Art direction is Sonal Naroff. And set decoration is Matthew Sullivan. Megan Stark Evans is on costume design. Hair and makeup, we got Stuart Gordon Tribble, Molly Stevens, Giselle Newcomb, Pamela McIntyre, Rosa Martinez, Julie Lachan, Marissa Haley, Renee Goodwin, Natalie Ertham, Tammy Dobson, JC Davis, Shannon Bakeman, and Dawn Angeletti. So the cast, we have got Doris, played by Nico Parker. Her mother is Christine, played by Laura Linney. And she has a brother, Max, who is played by Cree Kawa. Right. So we then have got, I guess we go with Paul. Paul Warren, played by Woody Harrelson. There are her classmates, right? Doris's classmates. So there's Lacey, played by Danielle Taylor. Brittany, played by Ella Anderson. Megan, played by Ariel Martin. Nate, played by Amar. At the care home, there's Nurse Mia, played by Keela Monterrezo Measure. There's Sue, the grief counselor, played by Pam Doherty. We've also got Dirty Cody, played by Andrew DiCostanzo. Kyle, played by Elliot Sancroft. Adam, played by Parker Sack. There's Officer Chauncey, played by Jason Berkey. Security Sylvia, played by Andrea Powell. Mr. Ladd, played by Matt Walsh. That's their teacher, I believe. Eveline Green, played by Karen Casey. Lisa Mosley, played by Orlean Sidney. Alex Vara, played by Brandon Arroyo. Sweet and Low, played by Scott MacArthur. Right, a younger version of Doris is played by Oakley Maloney, and her younger brother Max, a younger version of Max, is played by Finn Maloney. That's nice, brother and sister. So the gist of the story is we follow a teenager, Doris, living with her strong-willed mother, Christine, who must take her brother Max to live at a specialized facility. There she strikes up an unlikely friendship with an eccentric activist, Paul, amidst protests surrounding one of the most landmark medical cases of all time. All right, so this is actually based on something that happened to, you know, Laura Chinn when she was younger, right? So she actually had a brother called Max who also had a brain tumor. So she went through this kind of experience. So she's written this story about it, which is, sad, right? But very poignant. Now, this film, it is heart wrenching. It really is. And I think it captures these emotions very well. Like we start off, we see Doris wheeling Max through like town, bringing him home, just like helping him out. And the mum, has made this decision to take him to Suncoast. And it's just, yeah, it's tough because she needs Doris to help her. So it's just like, oh, you don't have to go into school today. But she's just like, I need to go into school. Right? She's got no friends at school, but she just wants this normal life. So the thing with it, right? We can see both sides of this. Because look, if you had a kid in this situation, he's dying, right? He's dying. There's no hope. So you just want to make sure every last moment of his life, he or she, they're going to be as comfortable as they can, right? Because they can't communicate, they can't talk, they can't move. So you just have to try and make sure that you thought of everything, right? Every little thing, so they're comfortable. So we're seeing all of this, right? But it's like the school coach has arrived, but she's helping Max into the car with her mum, and her mum's shouting at the coach. So clearly the coach driver can't hear. Everyone's looking, and it's just making Doris weirder to her classmates. So you just feel it. You just feel it. It's tough. And the rebellion is just trying to embrace a normal life. And it's so understandable. And it is so well played by young Parker, who I'm watching this and I'm looking at Nico Parker and I'm thinking, I know you. How the fuck do I know this? She looks so familiar, right? And I didn't get round to seeing Dumbo. I didn't see Dumbo. I haven't watched The Last of Us yet. You know, it's on my list. I haven't got round to watching it. There's so many other things, people. And then I find out she's Fandy Norton's daughter. Fandy Newton, even her daughter, and you're just like, oh, cool. Like you can see it once you're like, that's why I feel I know you, right? But she's very good. You know what I mean? Like a lot of it, obviously, it helps having famous parents. Like her dad is a director and a writer. It helps getting parts, getting recognition. And we've seen many famous person's kid in roles, and they're just like, they're not very good. But people, Nico Parker was very good in this, and she really did nail these emotions very well, very well. So then, at school, now, like, she overhears something and is able to kind of capitalize on it, right? And that brings her a little normality. But the crazy thing is, although like a lot of people would go, okay, so this would mean this, she still isn't really expecting a lot, but it's just like, oh, maybe I won't be looked at too crazily. So when she's then embraced, it's a, you can see it's a shock. And again, Parker does a great job of showing this, like the situation with Paul, because you're wondering when you lose, like, okay, so she makes friends with an activist. How's that gonna work out? Is it gonna be creepy? Oh no. But makes sense. The whole meeting and just all of this, you get it. And I think it is, again, would have Harrelson is great, right? So he plays that well, right? And there's those moments of frustration and he shows it, right? So it's really good. It's really like Laura Linney, come on, right? She's great. And playing the mum, they oh, she really does a great job. Like, there's just this horrible moment when Christine's talking to Sue, and Sue's like, "Oh, do you have any other kids?" And she's like, "No." And then she's like, "Oh my God, yes, yes, I do." And it just wrecks you because we're seeing it, right? She's acting like she kind of only has this one concern, and that's Max, even though Doris is there. You know what I mean? And you've got to still have enough love for Doris, but everything is tied into Max, which you get, but it's painful because it means that Doris is going without. Doris isn't getting the care that she needs. And so it's just that. And there's a couple of situations with Doris going to Suncoast. You'll know them when you see them, and they're just so emotional. It is just crazy. It's crazy, but it's done so well, right? There's two frustrations I do have with this. So with the new friend group at school, there's this one girl, right? I believe it is Megan, who oof, like is acting a bit like a cunt. Let's just be real. She's acting like a cunt. Right now, we see why. It's easy to understand why at the very beginning, right? Because Megan wants this thing that isn't coming to her, but she's doing certain things, and I feel right that like someone says, I think it's Brittany does say something, but n- just a kind of a hey, kind of, you know what I mean? It's not like, yo, you need to shut the fuck up or you're gonna get fucked up, right? Because how Megan's acting, that's what it warrants, right? In real life, I feel someone be like, yo, you need to check your motherfucking self before I wreck you, So I do feel that was a bit too softy approach on that whole situation. And then the other thing that was a little frustrating, the music, the musical beds in the film, mad loud in places, right? So you've got people talking and or something, sometimes not even people talking, but we're going through this emotional journey. And the music is so loud. Like, it's not the music is terrible or anything like that, but yeah, there's places where I'm just like, yo, the music is too loud here. You know what I mean? Can we just tone it back? Can we tone it back? Or just no music. Let's just live with these emotions, you know? But those are the only two bits, like real factors that were, I feel, could have been perfected. Everything else, I thought was pretty solid, and for a feature directorial debut, because that's what this is, you know, Chinn's feature directorial debut. This is great. This is great. You know, it's a really good showing. So it does make you very, very interested to see what will come next. But yeah, I think, look, if you like stuff like Little Miss Sunshine, you know, you'll enjoy this. But you know what it really reminded me of? So there was a film at the, I believe it was at the end of, oh fuck. Where was it at the end of? Um, boy, that's gonna bug the hell out of me now. Yo, so yeah, I think in episode 123, we looked at a film called Saint Francis. Right? It came, I think it came out in 2019, but hit Netflix a bit later. So yeah, I covered it at the beginning of 2021, I believe it was January the 4th. Uh and it's not the same film, but emotionally, it kind of had a similar, you know, feel to it as Suncoast. So yeah, it kind of reminded me of that as well as Little Miss Sunshine. So if you like those films, people, I do think you're gonna like Suncoast, right? It's on Disney Plus, Hulu. Definitely check it out.